Um, okay. Welcome and good to have all of you here. Just got to Germany and it's good to be here in Frankfurt. Okay, and I want to talk about something very important. Why the poor will remain poor. Okay, until mindset is fixed. Okay, so let me start by saying, tell me your name and the city you're watching me from. I'll welcome all of you, and I'd love you to please share this video and get all your friends in here. So let me start by showing you. This is Frankfurt, Germany. Okay, and you can see beautiful city. You have a plaza, Skyline Plaza there. Just a few minutes from here. I'm not sure if I have time to go watch a movie. A couple of movies I would love to watch, maybe when I get to the US, right? But pretty much really projects development here. Germany is the largest economy in Europe. Okay, and of course, most of the people do not even believe God exists. So the question is, Germany economy is $26 trillion. So why does Germany have a good economy? Nigeria, we are very religious, we're very prayerful, and we have a terrible, terrible economy. Now remember that Germany fought World War II and lost. And that in itself has an implication on Germany. But why is Germany the largest economy in the whole of Europe? Debbie chatting from Nigeria, Edo State. Thank you, Debbie, for joining. Please, as you're joining, tell me your name and your city. Okay, your name and the city you're joining me from. So I want to look at that topic, and I think it's important to have those kind of conversation at this phase to change our mindset as a people. Okay, why the poor will remain poor until mindset is fixed. Tolu from UK, welcome. So let me start by saying poverty is not a demon, it's a mindset. So you can't cast it out. Samson from Lagos, Emmanuel from Anambra, welcome. Charles from Anambra, welcome all of you. Remember, share this, invite more people to join us. Tell us your name and your city. Adil Legon, joining from Manchester. Thank you for joining. Poverty, please everybody type it. Poverty is not a demon. It cannot be cast out. Poverty is a mindset. Can everybody help me type this? This is the reason why bishops are poor, pastors are poor, prophets are poor, and other number of people too are poor. So Alexia from Kigali, how are you? So poverty cannot be cast out. It's not a demon. Sickness is a spirit, and you can cast it out. And we've seen that in the Bible where certain people were sick, particularly those who had infirmity, in the case of the guy who was practically mad, and demons were cast out of him and he was healed. So certain types of sicknesses can be spiritual, and and it could be a demon behind, and you can cast it out. But poverty is not a demon, it's a mindset, it's a way of thinking, it's a way of reasoning, it's a way of living, it's a habit that makes you poor. And if you're tired of poverty, you just need to start changing the habits. You just need to start changing the attitude. There's certain things you begin to put in place that you may not come out of poverty in 1 year or 2 years, but gradually you will come out. It's happened to me. I'm a proof of that. I was born poor. I grew up poor. Okay, but at some point I got this revelation that poverty wasn't a demon. I used to pray about poverty, casting poverty out. But a time came and I realized that poverty is not a demon and it cannot be cast out. It's a mindset. So the first demon, if poverty were to be a demon, the first demon of poverty is called consumption instead of production. Everybody say consumption instead of production. So a poor person is always consuming. He's not producing anything. Always consuming. You know, one of the major demon of poverty, I'm telling you, is not a demon, but I want to use language you understand. For those of you who believe it's a demon, well, the demon is consumption instead of production. Because the rich are rich because they are producing services, products, services, right? And that's why I showed you what I showed you. This is Frankfurt, Germany. And you and I can see companies right there. You're seeing sports centers, you're seeing companies, you're seeing train station, you're seeing malls, you're seeing train, right? You're seeing massive real estate. Okay? Massive real estate. So now you don't see this in Africa, then you can see wealth. So it's not about some demon, it's about the production. How many cars, okay, are manufactured in Germany? BMW is a German car. Mercedes is a German car. We can go on and on for you to understand what we're talking about. Because Germany is a productive country. The same thing with countries, same thing with individuals. Countries that produce become richer. Okay? Countries that consume become poorer. Individuals that produce become richer. Individuals that consume become poorer. So the question is, what are you producing? That's the first demon. The demon is consumption. Do you know the funny thing? The rich is always trying to act poor. The poor is always trying to look rich. The rich is always trying to look poor. The poor is always trying to look rich. What do I mean? How many rich people do you see with designers? And by the way, don't get it twisted. Celebrities, star athletes are not rich. They are self-employed. Okay? They are earning what we call active income. And the day they stop that sporting game, the day they stop the rap music, they become poor. This is the reason why a lot of artists have become extremely poor, because there's a lifestyle that being a celebrity exposes you to. Okay? And that lifestyle is a consumption lifestyle. It's a consumption lifestyle. Chain, gold chain. Okay? Expensive wristwatch. Okay? Designer clothes. That is consumption. How many times have you seen Dangote on a designer? How many times, really? Now, I'm not saying that rich people don't find themselves wearing designer, but how many times have you seen them trying to flaunt designers? How many times have you seen Tony Lumelu with a gold chain? You know, say, what? How much is this gold chain worth? They say it's worth $5 million. I'm Tony. Yeah. Yo, man. Poverty. A poor person is always trying to look rich. A rich person most times looks poor because he's not wearing designer wristwatch. He's as simple as possible. And I've seen this happen to me many times. Right? People have to introduce me before people say, you don't know that guy. You don't know who that guy is. Right? Because I'm not wearing a designer. I just walk into the room normal. Of course, in Nigeria, security is important. So, because I often have security orderlies in Nigeria, so maybe you may know this must be somebody important. But on a normal day, I'm a simple guy working. But we have worked and built real assets globally. And you can do the same. So the conversation is, if you're sure you want to come out of poverty, then you have to figure out, how do you become a producer? How do you begin to produce products and services that then can make you wealthy? I hope this is making sense, right? So number one, wealthy people are producers, poor people are consumers. And once you keep having the consuming mentality, you can never be rich. Does this make sense? If it makes sense, just type it makes sense, it makes sense, it makes sense. Come on, guys, I need your energy here. Is this making sense? Because I want to really, really break down this poverty thing, because sometimes it looks mythical, but it's not mythical. It's very simple. And I'm going to tell you what rich people do and what poor people do. First thing, poverty is not a demon. It cannot be cast out. The mindset just has to be changed, right? So why the poor will remain poor until their mindset is changed, number one, is because the poor is always consuming, the rich is always producing. So as long as you continue to produce, how many of us, let's be honest, right? How many of us, let me see your hands up, let's be honest, have seen a rich person, and maybe they hurt you. Maybe the rich person was your former employer. Maybe the rich person was your uncle. And out of anger, you cursed them. And to your surprise, years later, they got richer. You know, or you saw somebody just cursing, right? A rich man. And the rich man keeps getting richer. If you've had such experience, come on, just say, I. If you've seen something like that, okay? Because you will literally see people cursing rich people and thinking that they are curse words, and the curses will catch those rich people and they're going to become poor. And to their surprise, they keep seeing those people become richer. Okay? How many of you understand what I'm talking about? Come on, I need your response. The simple answer to that is that as long as the rich man continue to produce, whether you like him, whether you hate him, whether you curse him, he's going to keep getting richer. Meanwhile, the person cursing here and there, insulting and using curse words and cursing here and there, as long as he continues to consume, will remain poorer. And the person he's cursing every day keeps getting richer. So wealth is not really about your emotions. It's about whether you're a producer or you're a consumer. Number two, which is very, very important, okay, is that poverty is staying in your comfort zone. Wealth is coming out of your comfort zone. And how many of you have noticed how hardworking, and when I say rich people, I'm talking legitimately rich people. It's important that you know that there are certain people that you call rich, but they're not really rich. They stole money, right? And you will soon know, once they leave that public office, they're going to be poor again. Okay, so please get this right so that you don't have the mindset. Because a lot of us, from particular people of color, our role models are wrong. Our analyses are wrong. The people we're comparing ourselves with are wrong. So number two, poverty is staying in your comfort zone. Wealth is getting out of your comfort zone. Now, how many of you have noticed how hardworking some legitimate rich people can be? And sometimes you will be asking yourself, why are they still working this much? These guys are rich. Come on, have you had that such experience? Talk to me, guys. You literally will see a rich man is still in his office 10 p.m. He's having meetings on Saturday. He's working on a Sunday, right? And then you see an average worker, okay? He cannot wait. Thank God it's Friday, you know. Thank God it's Friday. And he's on Friday, you know, once it's 4, he's already putting his bag beside him. Okay? He's ready to go home. Meanwhile, the owner of the business is still in the office, sending memos, having meetings, sitting there, having conversations. Right? How many of you have noticed that? So, poverty is staying in your comfort zone. Just say, well, I'm okay with where I am. Well, I'm not that poor. I have 2 cars. My children are going to good school. Well, I live in a 4-bedroom apartment. Well, cool. That's poverty. Poverty is already knocking on your door when you have such a mindset. Meanwhile, wealth is staying out of your comfort zone. One project to another project, one greatness to another greatness, one move to another move, one expansion to another expansion. That is how people become wealthy, guys. Okay? That's how people become wealthy. Why not? You can come tomorrow. Let me see. Charles, I'm having a hangout here. We're just going to be maybe 7 people or less. Tomorrow by 6 p.m. So you can come, Charles. Send me a DM. If you're in Germany or you're close to Frankfurt, or you can make your way to Frankfurt, Germany, send me a DM. I will give you a seat. We're going to be having a hangout just 6 p.m. Just talking more about some of these things, right? Conversations about building wealth, mindset about wealth. I'll also be sharing with you a $150 million project in the US. We're building a over 400,000 unit, and you can invest in that project. It's going to be a great project for you to invest in. So tomorrow here in Frankfurt, Germany, we can hang out and have even deeper conversations. So send me a DM. So somebody said, how about getting ripped off from real estate companies? So well, send me a DM. Again, I don't want to, because sometimes we talk. Can I answer all these questions once I'm done? I have 9 points to go. So I have, I think, 8 more points, right? So those of you asking me questions, let's ask that question once I'm done, okay? So number 2, poverty is staying in your comfort zone. Wealth is getting out of your comfort zone, right? Somebody said, how do I attend your real estate mentorship? Send me a DM or talk to my secretaries here, Kehinde Oni. Talk to her, +234 8100000618. She just made a post right now. So reach out to her and she's going to schedule answer your questions. Number 3, poverty is refusal to take risk, right? And win or lose, the bravery to face the losses. That's poverty. These are how people remain poor. These are how people remain poor. Poverty is refusal to take risk and face it whether you win or you lose. You know, sometimes people think I'm lucky. And I always say this, right? A successful man is lucky, says the poor man who refused to take risk. In other words, says the lazy man who refused to take risk. Because whenever you refuse to take risk, you think those who took risk and won are lucky. But the risk was available for all of you to take anyway. So the question is, why didn't you take the same risk? Somebody bought a land and then found gold on the land. And then you say he's lucky. Why were you also not buying land? The chances that you find gold at some point is also very close. Somebody found oil on his land. The point is, why didn't you risk, that? The chances that you could have been lucky yourself. There's a story I never forget of a woman who was into fashion, and she used to sew for people, including the wife of the president. Okay? And at some point, it was an opportunity for people to apply for oil well, but it was risky because you were just going to be paying money. There's no guarantee they're going to find oil where, you're paying for. But this woman took the risk. Eventually, she struck gold. She's not the richest black woman or the richest woman in Africa, Alakija. Now, you could have been, existed during that time when this was in the 80s, right? Many women saw the opportunity. Many men saw the opportunity, but did not apply for the oil well. They did not apply. And did not take the risk of keep looking for the oil well for over 10 years before they struck the oil. So now you can look at the woman and say she's lucky, but what happened to when she kept at it, when she kept at it, when she kept at it? So poverty is refusing to take risk and facing the consequences of whether winning or losing. It's all about risk. I'm taking a risk now, buying a 40-acre in Texas, Katy, okay, working towards building a over 400,000 unit on it is a risk I'm taking, ladies and gentlemen. There's a chance that America can pack up tomorrow. It's a risk. There's a risk that I could fail. But there is also a risk that I could win big. And this could be one major thing that will change my business career forever. This could be the beginning of me owning assets worth over $5 billion in the next 5 to 10 years in America alone. This is that deal. But I have to take the risk, guys. I have to take the risk. So should you as well. If you now want to, if you're serious about becoming rich. Sometimes I ask people, why are you not taking the risk of attending seminars that will open you up to how to do real estate, on how to start your business, on how to use credit to build wealth, instead of using credit to buy cars that you don't need, instead of using credit to get mortgage. And by the way, your mortgage is not an asset. A mortgage is a liability and not an asset. A car is not an asset. It's a liability. Okay? It is the car you use for Uber that is an asset. It is the house that you rent out that is an asset. I'm building over 400,000 units now in Katy. That is an asset. I'm not leaving the house. I'm going to be selling those houses. That's an asset. I'm going to be renting some of those houses out. That's an asset. And that's how you build wealth. So the question, ladies and gentlemen, is poverty is refusing to take risk. Poverty is you saying, oh, what if I fail? I don't want to take the risk. That's poverty. Wealth is that I'm going to take that risk. I will win some and I will lose some. Are we learning? If you're learning type, I'm learning, I'm getting value. Come on. I love a very interactive class, and please share this video. Invite more people to join us. Number 4. This is very powerful. Poverty is analysis leading to paralysis. Number 4. Poverty is analysis leading to paralysis. Kindly hold your question till I'm done so I can then answer all your questions. Number 4. Poverty is analysis leading to paralysis. How many of you have noticed that poor people will always give you 10 reasons why an idea will not work? Rich people will always tell you, chase that idea. Go for your dream. How many of you noticed that? Come on, talk to me, guys. How many of you have noticed that when you're with a rich man, and I'll give you an example. I'm telling you the fact. When I told Dr. Cosmos Maduka, here is this 40-acre in US, we're going to be building 400,000 units. This is my dream. Okay? Do you know what he said to me? He started showing me projects he's doing right now. Internationally. How he got a new company in Japan. A car company in Japan. He bought it. Right? And started sharing with me deals he was doing. This one is the first phase is 120 million. When we're done, we'll have made $500 million. This project is this. He was breaking it down, encouraging me to go ahead. And I met several rich people like that. Every one of them says, Stephen, this is the right thing to do at this moment. You need to take this risk because you're a Nigerian business. When you look at the dollar, the naira, the fact that you don't even have the liquidity in Nigeria to build all this green and smart home. And once you can succeed doing it in America, you'll be able to unlock money that you can now bring to Nigeria, repatriate to Nigeria, and use it to do your Nigerian project. This is the good move. Let me tell you the people who started giving me analysis, poor people. Are you sure it will work? Poor people. Right? And gave me Hello, are you there? What's going on? Can you hear me? If you can hear me, type I can hear you. If you can't hear me, type I can't hear you, because I can't see the video and I don't know what went. Why did the video just off itself? That's funny. Okay, the devil is a liar. The video just off itself. Can you guys hear me, guys? If you can hear me, type I can hear you. So all the rich people I met that I talked about Katie project, everybody say go for it. You know, this is the right move. The only people that discouraged me were poor people. And all they were giving me were the analysis that led to paralysis. They were giving me stories of those who have failed. They were giving me what are the chances. They were asking all manner of questions, right? The rich people, and true story, but even when it comes to the investors, the rich investors, boom, they wire their money. The poor investors asked me, the only thing they didn't ask me was the death certificate of my late mom. I'm not kidding you. The big time investors, I'm talking of those who are investing $200,000 into this deal, right? One person, $500,000. Those who are ready to invest $2 million, $5 million in this deal. All they were saying is that give me time or give me the details. I'll invest at this point or I'll come in at this point. No too much questions. The poor ones who wanted to invest $5,000, $10,000 were the ones who the only thing they did not ask me to bring was the death certificate of my mother. Now, what am I saying? The proof that you are poor is your mindset. And one of those mindsets you will have is analysis that leads to paralysis. You will always find yourself analyzing every opportunity till you lose out of the opportunity. You always find yourself analyzing why an idea will not work. How about analyzing what if it works? One of the secrets of great people is the ability to analyze both why it may not work and analyze why it will work and get themselves obsessed about why it will work and when it works, and their energy is put into getting it to work. And I realized that it's a matter of choice in life to either put all your energy on possibility of something working or the chances that it will never work. It's a choice. But that is how you know rich versus poor. The rich is always ready to take action. The poor is always ready to analyze. Is criticizing and analysis and going over it again and again and again and again. Number 5. Poverty is blaming those ahead for your failure. That's one of the things you see with poor people. The mindset they have. Blaming those ahead. The reason we are not making it is because our leaders are corrupt. But there are some people making it even in that corrupt country. The reason why we are not making it, how many of you have seen my video? For those of us in diaspora, if you've seen the video, and what people don't know is I don't live in Nigeria. A lot of people still don't know that. I do not spend, by law, if you don't spend, people don't know this. So I'm a diasporan. I own big time businesses in Nigeria. And how many of you have know that is what I did? When I realized I'm expanding internationally and I'm not going to be in Nigeria, I strengthened the leadership of our company. I started talking about profit sharing with our leaders, appointed CEOs, right? Brought in board to govern our businesses and, find a way to remunerate those people. Okay, but now look for how I could expand to Dubai, expand to US. Are we learning, guys? If you're learning, type I'm learning. Okay, but are you aware of many of these people in diaspora? How many of them were attacking this good idea that I gave them, which was that, hey, why not think of expanding? Because a lot of people, how many of you know that poor people don't travel, don't japa? For those of you who are majorly from Africa, the word japa means you are moving out of the country, out of Nigeria. or out of Ghana, out of Sierra Leone, out of Senegal, right? Out of South Africa, you're moving to Europe or moving to Americas, right? Now, how many of you are aware that poor people cannot afford to relocate out of Africa? If you are aware, if you know what I'm saying, type I agree. So meaning those who are relocating are either senior management staff of companies, isn't it? Or business owners themselves. And my argument is that a lot of those who are business owners, instead of just shutting down, that's what many do. They will sell all their assets, sell all the companies they own, and take everything and say they are moving to Germany or moving to UK or moving to US or moving to somewhere else, right? And the reason when you ask them, why are you leaving Nigeria? They say Nigeria is not working. The government is terrible. I've given up. Now, how many of you realize that the same people will then move to Germany or move to UK and start doing security job and start doing, washing dead body in mortuaries? The kind of job they were never going to do in Nigeria, never going to do in Ghana, never going to do in South Africa, will never find themselves. They're too arrogant to do those kind of jobs. Now they're willing to serve tables as waitresses, right? And do odd jobs in the UK, in the US. And these were people who said they were leaving Africa because African governments have failed. And they were going to countries where the economy were better. My question is, why couldn't these people figure out a way to start as entrepreneurs in this, land flow with milk and honey that they were going? Because I did that. When I moved to Dubai, I did not go and look for a job. I made sure my business was one, and you can go and watch my YouTube videos, right? How you need to structure your company so that it can go global. Number one, I made sure my product was universally needed, real estate. People will need real estate in Germany the same way they need it in Zambia, the same way they need it in Houston, the same way they need it in China. You will always need real estate. So I made sure I was in a business where you will always need my services anywhere in the world I go. Number two, I made sure I got trained in those countries before I left. So I started, studying real estate with Harvard University. I started getting exposed. In fact, I started selling Dubai products before I left Nigeria. Before I opened our Dubai office, we had started selling properties in Dubai. So why can't other Africans who are leaving Africa do the same? Now, where am I going? Poor people always find who to blame. Rich people take personal responsibility for their lives. That's why I said poverty is a mindset. And for those of you just joining us, welcome, welcome, welcome. This is a conversation about that poverty is a mindset. It's not a demon. Poverty is not even something negative. Sometimes when you say you're a poor person, you are angry, you want to fight the person. No, the person just says there's a mindset that's kept you poor. Okay? And we're breaking down each of these mindsets one by one. One of the mindset that makes people poor is the blame mindset. Always looking for who to blame. Everybody is to be blamed for why you're poor except you. Everybody is the problem. The government is the problem. Your employer is the problem. Your wife is the problem. Your cousin is the problem. Your cousin, your nephew, your in-law, everybody is the problem except you. Everybody. I meet people who tell me, and I say to them, I remember meeting a gentleman in Dubai. He came to meet me at the golf course. He follows me online like a lot of you do. And the gentleman, I said, how long have you been in Dubai? He said, I've been in Dubai for 3 years. I said, good. So how much have you saved from this your work? He works in a car wash. He washes cars in Dubai, right? And I said, how much have you saved from washing cars? He said, 0. And I looked at him, really, really angry. I was so angry for him. I said, why haven't you saved anything? He said, well, the little he makes, he has to pay his rent and all of that. And that the remaining, his uncle was very helpful for him. And that the uncle is always demanding money all the time. And so every month he's having to send money to his uncle. and every little money he has left after he pays all his bills, he sends to his uncle, who would then use it to take care of his family. I then looked at him, I said, but this is insane. You're young, you're not married, but very soon you need to get married. Very soon you need to have, your own apartment, bigger than what you have. You need to have savings to take care of the new family you're having. You need to also build wealth for yourself. The Bible says a good man leaves an inheritance for his children's children. You have to build something for you. What's going on, gentlemen? And he said, well, his uncle is always blackmailing him. And this is where I'm going. Even if your family members are the reason you're poor, for those of you in diaspora, it's your fault. Because why haven't you trained yourself to be able to say no? I had to do that. I did that even to my biological father. Years ago, and it's in my book, The Billionaire Habit is one of the books I've authored. You should go get all my books. They're all on Amazon. They're going to add value to you. These are powerful books you start reading. And I shared in my book how my dad, I'll go visit my biological father. He gave birth to me. And my dad will have taken loan from neighbors. Okay? And will be enforcing that I and my brother have to pay the loan. And sometimes he will even, try to blackmail me into that. The neighbors he took that loan from said they know me. I've always been on social media. Our business, a lot of people didn't know. We started with digital marketing. Our first business was digital marketing, right? So I've always been active on social media, and people have always seen me on social media. So my dad will say to me, these people even know you on social media. They say they see you, you're a big guy on social media. And then I remember I would say to my dad, I say, well, they are free to, say what they want to say, but I'm the one that know me, and I know how rich or how poor I am, okay? And if you decide not to manage the money I have given you, and then you decide to go and be borrowing money from your neighbors, okay, not my neighbors, okay, and you live above your means, that's none of my headache. Because at this phase of my life, I told my dad, I am not where I want to be. Okay, and I'm still working my way up. And so I'm sorry, to embarrass your friends and all these people, but I cannot give more than I am giving you. In those days, I put him on a salary, so every month I sent him an amount. I can't remember then how much it was. Okay, but I'm happy I did that, right? Because if I didn't do that, I would have eaten into my capital, right? I would have eaten into my capital, my business capital. And today, right, I have been able to build him a house, and I've been able to buy him a car. But if in those days I did not stand my ground to say, Popsy, I cannot give you more than the 10,000 naira I am sending you every month. Okay? Now, anybody who thinks I'm not taking care of you enough, they should come and take care of you. There's no problem. There's no shame in it. Let me say this, and please write it down. Everybody, I want you to try to type this. Poor people buy what they don't need to impress people that don't care. So I shared about my dad's, how I had to structure even funds for my dad in my book called Billionaire Habits. This is the book. It's on Amazon and it's also on my website, steveichthea.com. You can buy it anywhere. Right? So I have all these books. So those of you coming for the Frankfurt Hangout, you'll be able to get some of my books. I can sign it for you and you can get them as well. This Billionaire Land Banker, this Billionaire Habits for Entrepreneurs. They're all on Amazon, and this is Billionaire Code. I have over 40 books on Amazon. Go get them. Right? So I am so happy that I had to structure how much I was giving my biological father. Okay? Because if I did not structure it that way, I would have still remained a poor man today. Okay? And I wouldn't have been in a position to build a house for my father and buy him a car. But at that phase of my life, I had to only send him 10,000 naira every month. I wasn't trying to impress nobody. He's still my father. And I knew he was still going to be alive to still watch me do bigger things for him, which God helped me to do. How many of you have been pressurized to eat into your capital because you needed to help family members? Come on, talk to me. Can you type here? Be honest, this is confession time. How many of you have been pressurized, to eat into your capital for your business, because of family members' pressure? Stop it. Because ultimately part of why people are poor, is because they mismanage their fortune, and then they continue to blame family members for it. But it was your choice. You could have said no, like I did. My no had to be to my dad. I said no to my dad. I'm sorry. I am building wealth now. I can't give you more than 10,000 every month. If you go above that, you have to figure out a way to pay it. But I can't give you more than that. Today, that story has changed. Is this helpful? If this class is helpful, type very helpful, very helpful. Number 6. Poverty is rejecting knowledge and execution of the knowledge. Poverty is rejecting knowledge and executing the knowledge that you get. What I've noticed about rich people, they suck knowledge like sponge, right? They suck knowledge like sponge. And no matter how rich they are still ready to learn. Poor people on the other hand, are very arrogant. Extremely, extremely arrogant. They know it all. There's nothing anybody can teach them. Here is Dr. Cosmos Maduka in my office. This was this week that just ended. And literally I was to do something for him, and he sat down and I was explaining the whole thing, and he was learning. It was around social media and things like that. And I was saying, well, I don't know how this thing works. But he sat down and was learning. This is one of the richest people in the whole of Africa. How many poor people will come and sit down and learn? If a rich man at his age, 65, extremely wealthy, will sit down to be picking something to learn from me, right? I'm younger, I'm not as rich as he is. How many poor people will tell you what will he teach? Even on this social media, you often see people say, what is he teaching? What is he telling us? What don't we know? Don't mind them. What do they have to say? So this tells you the difference. Rich people are hungry for knowledge, and they're going to execute the knowledge they get. Poor people, on the other hand, are looking and saying, what are they teaching? What are they talking about? What don't we know? So if you want to come out of poverty, if you want to become richer, then you have to prioritize going for trainings and seminars. You have to prioritize taking action on what you learn in those trainings and seminars. So it's not just I've learned. How can I execute? What can I do right now? As I speak to you, I'm going for a course in the US. It's going to be costing me $30,000 with Grant Cardone. And it's for 3 days. $30,000, a conference I'm going for. That's the difference, the rich and the poor. A poor person will tell you, why will I pay anybody $30,000? Is it God? But that's why you are where you are. Right? That's why you are where you are. Oftentimes people, people always tell me, Dr. Stephen, I want to be as rich as you are. And I keep saying it over and over again. I'm grateful you want to be. I understand you want to be rich. I understand your dreams and your aspirations. But I'm sorry, those dreams and aspirations will not happen except you take your life seriously. Except you make moves that will change your story. You have to take certain actions. You have to turn your life around. You have to make moves that will make things change. But part of those moves is learning and learning and learning and executing what you have learned. Number 7 or number 8, poverty is false evidence appearing real, and wealth is faith. Poverty is false evidence appearing real, and wealth is faith. For you to be poor, you must have always practiced fear. Fear. Just be scared. You have what it takes, but you're just scared. You just can't make the move. You just can't take action. You're just always scared. And that's why you remain poor. But the rich is ready to make move. The rich is ready to take action. That's the difference, ladies and gentlemen, between the poor and the rich. The poor will never take action. He's always scared. Dr. Stephen, I'm scared. Oftentimes people reach out to me and say, Dr. Stephen, I want to do real estate. I want to invest in real estate. I'll be okay. Well, we have this project is $1 million, or this project, is $100,000. And you see some of them say, but Dr. Stephen, I'm scared. What if I lose my money? I've been cheated before. I lost my money 2 years ago. I did this. You know what I always tell those people? My answer is always the same. If you are scared, don't do it. You know why? Because fear always attracts calamity. Faith always attracts greatness. You will always attract what you fear. Job in the Bible, Job said, what I fear the most has happened to me. Whatever you are afraid of, you attract more of it. And whatever you are brave about, okay, whenever you show faith, then good things begin to happen to you. So I always tell people when they tell me, I want to do investment, but I'm afraid. I've said, you know what? Don't bother do the investment. Some always claim I'm arrogant, but it's the truth. Because let your fear not be what we rock the business opportunity we are doing. I say this even when it comes to employees. I always say, we remember the story that happened to Jonah in the Bible. Right? There are certain people who must not be in your boat. Those people are those who are always afraid. Don't add them to your boat. Anytime you see people are scared, don't add them to your boat. They are going to make your boat sink, because they will manifest their fear no matter what. So anytime people want to invest in our company and they're telling me they're scared, my answer to them is don't bother do it. Because you will be the one to bring your fear to pass. I know of a real estate deal we did in Ibejuleki, right? And this was one of the best real estate deals we've ever done. But one of those guys is always scared. At the end of the day, okay, weeks to the coastal road being done, the guy asked for refund. Now he's trying to say he wants to come back. I've told them, I said, no, we're not giving him his refund. Let him collect his money back. When he now saw, weeks to the coastal road, now that he saw the video that the road had been done, that this is a big time deal, he wants to come back on the deal. And I've told my people, we are not putting him back. He's ready to pay more money. He's ready to now pay the development fee. He has refused to pay all this while. He now wants to pay it. I said, no, you took us to court. You took us to court. You took us to court. Right? Because of your fear. So what I've learned over time when it comes to investment, when people are scared, I don't want to do business with them. Because even when we're about to touch gold, these people, their fear is making them to drag us back and take us backwards. Because they've always been scared anyway. And sometimes the people who make you to be afraid are your lawyers. You know why? Your lawyer himself is not an investor. Isn't that amazing? That many of us have lawyers who they themselves have not invested. Some of you have lawyers who have never done investment real estate in their life before, except that they bought a house that they live in. Come on, talk to me now. Now, you want to go to that same lawyer to guide you on how to make an investment in real estate. Do you see where we miss it? And when things look shaky, you expect that lawyer to tell you to hang in there. He's the first one to say, don't do it. No, no, no. I told you. I warned you. I warned you. It's risky. Well, he's going to tell you it's risky because he's never done it for himself. This is the reason why I tell people, never get into an investment without a mentor who is more successful in that investment. Else, you will discourage yourself out of a good deal. You will discourage yourself. Something that is good, or you will still discourage yourself out of it because you are not surrounding yourself with people who are doing the same. You are not surrounding yourself with people who are successful. Assuming you surround yourself with other people who are doing investment, who are making progress. Today they are buying this, tomorrow they are buying this. You will see that you will do investment with boldness. But because you're always surrounding yourself with people, including lawyers, who are not even doing it, and then you're asking them to oversee what they are not doing for themselves, you can't give what you don't have. So, ladies and gentlemen, poverty is false evidence appearing real. And the way to know you are having a poverty mindset is that you're always going to be scared of taking an investment decision. You would rather be looking at your money in the account being devalued every day than for you to invest that money and grow that money. You would rather leave that money in the bank. And that money is getting devalued by the day. Right? And why are you leaving the money? Because you're just scared. You're just scared. What if I fail? And so what? Write this down, everybody. I want everybody to type this. Right? Please type this. Failure is not the opposite of success. Failure is the pathway to success. Everybody type this. Failure is not the opposite of success. Failure is the pathway to success. We ultimately fail our way into success. In other words, we kept failing, but we're not giving up. We try again, we're not giving up. How many of you are aware that I've done almost 20 businesses that did not succeed before I became successful in bulk SMS business? If you're aware, type I'm aware. If you're not aware, type I'm not aware. I did almost 20 businesses. Popcorn, I sold popcorn. I hawk electronics. I organized trade fair. These are businesses that failed. I sold books. Right? I used to represent a university in Hungary, and it all failed. I can go on and on and on. I used to own a magazine business. It failed. Okay? So I failed my way into success because I just refused to give up. You know, I failed today, then I start a new one. Then I keep doing it. I kept doing it till eventually I struck gold in bulk SMS business, digital marketing, and then real estate afterwards. So failure is not the opposite of success. Failure is the pathway to success. The road to success has failure boulevard. Everybody write it down. On the road to success, you will see failure boulevard, and you have to pass it. On the road to success, you will see failure boulevard, and you have to pass through failure boulevard to eventually get to that street called success. Please, everybody write it. On the road to success, you will see failure boulevard, and you must pass that failure boulevard to eventually get to the street called success. So, if you're always scared, if you're always afraid, you have totally cut yourself out of success. You have automatically put yourself on the line for failure. Number 9, poverty is lack of mentorship. Everybody write it. Number 9, poverty is lack of mentorship. Anytime you see people who have failed and who are poor, they lack mentors. And I'm saying mentors in their field, not spiritual mentors. Mentor on this topic wealth, mentor on the topic riches, mentor on the topic money. They lack it. Anytime you see a man that has failed, he does not have a rich mentor. He does not have a mentor teaching him about wealth. I know what you are all going to say. How will I attract a rich man to mentor me when I'm poor? Well, how did I attract one? I serve them. I serve them. Every rich man has a problem. There's always something you can do for a rich man that will get that rich man to put you in their corner. There's always something, there's always a way you can serve a rich man that he will be willing to give you what he knows in exchange for the service you are giving him. That's it. And even for Dr. Cosmos Maduka, I just told you now, I've never paid him to mentor me, but I serve him. I run errands for him. I run things for him, some I can't tell you in public. Okay? And in exchange, he gladly opens his door to teach me one or two things. I don't go to him to ask him for money. I've never asked him for money. Okay? But I need his counsel. I need his wisdom. I need what he knows. He's had over 40 years doing business and he survived. Okay? So, always remember that the reason you don't have a business mentor is not because rich people don't want to mentor you. The reason you don't have rich mentors is not because rich people don't want to mentor you. Every one of you must have a millionaire in dollar mentoring you if you are really serious about becoming rich. Okay? Let me say it again. Every one of you, if you are really serious, okay, I want to be rich, I hate poverty. If you are really serious about being rich, you must have a multi-millionaire who you have gone to meet to say, can you mentor me on how to be a multi-millionaire in dollars? You have to do that. I have had to do that. I'm still doing that. I'm even doing it with multi-billionaires. And some of them I'm paying my way. Grant Cardone, I'm paying my way to learn from Grant Cardone. I'm paying another $30,000 this coming week for his conference. There were some other mentors I don't pay, but I serve them. Right? I use the skills that I have to provide service for them. Right? Some I went to volunteer in their company without being paid. Just so that I can get access to their methodologies and learn from them. So you can always attract mentors. You can always get people to mentor you. You can always get rich people to mentor you. All you need to do is serve them. You know, I've had several people who are pastors, spiritual pastors, big time pastors, who when I visit their cities, they come pick me themselves from the airport. And sometimes their members are shocked. My papa has come to pick Dr. Stephen. What's going on? And these are people who have drivers. But you know what they are doing? They are saying, that is my own way of serving Dr. Stephen to teach me how to make money in real estate sector. I know a pastor, when he told me he wanted to start making money from real estate, he wants to work on his wealth. And because of the way he approached me, was so humble. In fact, he's in the city he pastors, is one of the top 5 pastors with the largest congregation. Right? And he paid for my seminar, and he was so humble about it. So I said, as a man of God, I'm not going to charge you. I'm not going to charge you. And I started mentoring him. Today, he owns more than 20 short-let apartments in a city where he pastor, where he's making money from those shortlets. And so many other strategies he picked from our mentorship session. But guess what? The way this person serves is that whenever I'm around, he comes picks me. He makes sure I'm comfortable. Right? I remember one day I was to speak in a place and he decided to drop me there. Right? When I came out, when the person who was hosting me at the conference opened the door and saw this man, he went flat, prostrating. Daddy. You know, if he abandoned me, that was his guest. Okay, I'll focus on my driver. Okay, he was quite humbled why that man did that. So what am I saying? You can't tell me the rich people don't want to mentor you. You have not gone to look for a way to serve them. That's why. Look for a way to serve them. It will take humility. That's all. Number 10. Number 10. Poverty is selfishness at the highest level. Yes, I know this one. He hot, he choke, but it's the truth. When you see people who are poor, they're actually selfish. For you to be poor, you must have been very self-centered. A lot of your thinking must have always been about you and you and you. You never prioritize other people, helping other people. You know, and I've seen that is the reason why a lot of people are poor. They're selfish. Have you ever met poor people before? What would they tell you? I need money for my house rent. I need money to pay my children's school fees. I need your help. Can you give me money? Can you help me? What did you notice in that conversation? How many of you have noticed me in each of that conversation? What do you notice? Me. Did you hear anything about the other party? It's always me. Help me. Give me money for my house rent. Give me money for my school fees. Give me money to do naming. Give me money to feed myself. Give me money to help my family members. Me, I. And that's why they are poor. Because wealth is about us. Wealth is about other people. I just told you now, we're about building 400 housing units in Katy. It's going to cost us $150 million. Am I the one that will live in that 400 houses? Can I live in 400 houses? It's about other people. You see me talk about we're building 25,000 green and smart home by the year 2035. Am I going to live in 25,000 houses? It's about other people. You see me talking about writing books. I've written over 40 books. Am I going to read all my books? Okay, I can't buy all my books on Amazon. It's about adding value to other people. Production that we talked about earlier. You see me talking about, let's have a hangout. Let me share about what I know with those of you who are in Germany. Tomorrow, we're having a 6 p.m. hangout here in Frankfurt. It's about them. How do I add value to them? A poor person is about me, give me money, help me, me. Life is not fair. Nobody's helping me. Nobody has given me money. Me. Ultimately, poverty is about selfishness. When you want to break out of poverty, you have to start thinking, how do I add value to Jide? Omo Kilani is here. How do I add value to her? Yemfish, how do I add value to Yemfish? How do I add value to God sent Samson? Why do you think I arrived Germany today and I'm already doing a whole master class just teaching you? You didn't pay me for this. But it's because it's not just about me. It's also about, can I add value to people? Right? Can I share? Can I empower? So eventually, when you now hear that, this person invested with Dr. Stephen $1 million. This person invested with Dr. Stephen $2 million. This person gave Dr. Stephen $200,000 for his business. This person invested in Dr. Stephen's Katy project. You now say, that man is lucky. No, the man is not lucky. You don't know how many years that man has been listening to Dr. Stephen. And Dr. Stephen's teaching changed the man's mentality. Even the money in itself, you don't know whether the man made it through what he learned from Dr. Stephen. I know a man who bought 4 plots from us. Right? He bought 4 plots from our company. How did he make the money? He got my video. I was invited to his church to teach on wealth. And I taught on how they can make money from crypto. Okay, and this gentleman bought my course, my video training on how to invest in crypto. And then he invested $1,000 into crypto, altcoin. I talked about altcoin. And in 7 months, he turned $1,000 to $150,000. Part of that money was what he used to buy 4 plots of land from us. So when you hear that somebody like that invested so much money with Dr. Stephen, in your mind, Dr. Stephen is lucky. But you fail to realize that Dr. Stephen took pain to go and preach in this man's church. How much did those people pay Dr. Stephen? They were not even able to afford to pay his flight ticket, afford to pay his hotel accommodation, but because Dr. Stephen wanted to add value. Right? Even the coaching video he bought, Dr. Stephen had to give discount to the guy. But when he eventually made it, he's now coming back to reward Dr. Stephen by doing business. So ultimately, poverty is selfishness. When it's all about me, okay, you are not going to be rich. How many of you have noticed on social media that you see somebody come on social media and say, give me money? Have you seen that? Freaking my account. Give me, what do they call it now? You notice that? Okay, the person will not think, how do I add value to you? It's just entitlement of just wishing. How many of you notice that the people who abuse rich people that they don't give are the ones who don't give at all? Who knows what I'm talking about? You see people have the audacity to go and to come on social media and claim that rich people do not give. And they themselves have never helped anybody. Never helped anybody. What they are saying, in other words, is that a rich man has not given to them. Because in reality, every rich man I've ever seen is a giver. He may not have given to you, but he's a giver. He may not have publicized the giving, but he's a giver in his private. He may not have announced it to the world and said, this is what I've done, but he's a giver. I, as a person, for example, in the last 1 month, you have no idea of how much millions I've given out. Millions that I've given out. Okay? But I don't put all of it on social media. I don't announce all of it. And because I didn't announce it does not mean I'm not a giver. And so when you now come on my page and I'll say, we help, who has it given to? You are literally saying, I have not given to you. And that's an entitlement mentality, because you could have as well gone to make your own money and give it to as many people as you want to help. Okay? So why bother yourself about somebody else's money and somebody else's, and how other people spend their money, or whether other people give out their money or not? Make your own money and give it the way you want to give it. So those are the 10 ways to know whether you have a poverty mindset or not. And I want you to be very honest with yourself. If you come late, go and watch it again. I'm going to save it on this page. Go to my YouTube handle, Dr. S. Akintayo. You'll be able to watch the 10 signs of poverty. Right? If you have any of it, begin to work against them. Begin to work. Because I also had these 10 things in my life when I started. But once I knew I had it and they were the reasons why I was poor, I worked hard to overcome those poverty mindset. And today I now know that poverty is not a demon. It cannot be cast out. Poverty is a mindset. And you can only overcome poverty by having the right knowledge and then working hard on delivering yourself from those poverty mentalities that you have. Are you blessed today? Come on, if you're excited about today's session, show some excitement. Guys, show some gratitude. I've just spent over an hour with you for free. Show some gratitude, guys. Come on, come on, come on. It's part of what I teach people, that one of the poverty signs is that rich people are very grateful. Poor people are never grateful. Poor people they just want you to do more. Have you ever given somebody money and he says, is that all? Who knows what I'm talking about? Or you give somebody money and say, can you give me more? And then the next month he comes back asking for more money as though you never did anything before. That is poverty. Rich people that I know, sometimes I get embarrassed the way rich people thanked me. There's a man I did a portrait picture for. This man is what, let's not say what, but does business, transactions, into oil business. does transaction at least to the tune of tens of billions of dollars because he's into oil. And I just did a portrait. How much? The portrait, it was not even up to 5 million naira. You need to see how he was thanking me for the portrait. Right? He was just so grateful. Now, this is a man who can just do it like this. But rich people are grateful for every little thing. Poor people don't care. Right? Someone is asking, when will I be in the US? I will be on Sunday. I'm having a hangout for all of you in Washington, Maryland, DMV area. I'm having a hangout just like this on Sunday. And then I'm having another one in Florida. Then I'm having another one in Houston. Then I'm having another one. I'm still thinking maybe I'll do Indianapolis or one of these places, right? But yes, those are my movements. So those of you who have questions, you can ask your question now. So I have Aviv Skin Care Backup says, I know how much I will pay to hear this in a seminar. Thank you for doing it for free. You're welcome. You're welcome. So if you have questions now, all of you were asking me questions earlier. You can ask your questions. I'm ready to take those questions. And we go. Questions? Let me see. When are you coming to Manchester? Well, I don't have plans yet. Maybe June, July. I might be there. You said something about mentorship. How about a person like me that needs a mentor and is ready to serve but can't get one due to locality? There are always mentors, right? So my argument is that every locality has its own mentor. Sometimes, like I always say, people don't buy the best product, they buy the best known product. In every locality, there are always good people that can mentor you. You just need to do more research. I'm just popular, and sometimes we're always going after the popular guys, but there are some local guys who are not that popular who can still be of help in your locality. So look for them. My first mentor was my older brother. Okay, but for many years until the Holy Spirit opened me up to say, this your older brother has always advised you right, and his counsel has always worked. Why can't you officially see him as your mentor? So some of you have people around you who could mentor you, but you just look down on them because, there's familiarity. So look down, do some research. It could be someone around your locality. He may not be as rich as Dr. Stephen, but there are always people around you who can mentor you. Sona Deboye says, thank you so much for giving this lecture for free. I know how much this might have cost if I'm to pay. You're welcome. My Biala says, sir, there's provision for small investors like $5,000. Unfortunately, we don't have provision for $5,000. Maybe other new project we will do will make room for $5,000. It's a $150 million project. How many $5,000 will amount to? The what we are raising is $45 million, but how many $5,000 will get you $45 million? So I think that might not work. But if you can get up to $10,000, we'll see what we can do. But we have other investment, right? So aside the US investment, we have other investment that you can do as low as $5,000. You can even start with $1,000, and then every month or every quarter you add to it. So send me a DM, including who is asking for $1,000. Okay, send me a DM, Afure Okoji. Send me a DM and our team will talk to you and look for opportunities, right? Ruth Wavy says mindset adjustment sure is key. What is key? What keeps you constantly going? Very good question. So unlike a lot of people that the fear they have has immobilized them, my fear has energized me, right? So I don't want to end with like my dad. My dad was quite successful in his younger days, but challenges of life just knocked him up. At some point, he just stopped trying. And so watching that story, I vowed that I was just not going to stop. I'm not going to stop until the day I breathe my last breath. So my fear is not to end up like my dad, waiting for his children to feed. And that has driven me. I weaponize my fear to a source of energy to keep going. So once says mortgage is a liability, not an asset. Explain. Yes, because the mortgage you get, you live in it. Right, so any mortgage you live in is not an asset, it's a liability. It's the mortgage that you get and you are renting it out, and your tenant is the one paying for your mortgage. That's an asset. But if you can make sure that your tenant's monthly rent is even a bit more than what you're paying as mortgage, so now your tenant is paying the mortgage and you're getting a little on the side. So it is only what is bringing money to you that is an asset. Anything taking money from you is a liability. Okay? So a mortgage, the house you live in, is not an asset, except you turn it to a tool, Airbnb, and the house is not bringing money. Okay? Abdul, say, what stage should you be giving back when you're still building? Well, when you are still building, you have to reduce what you are giving, right? You have to give the least you can. It is when you have gotten to a level, and you will know if you analyze your profit margin properly, you will know. What we are saying is give at your level. So don't eat into your capital. Money that is not yours, you are touching it because somebody is about to die, or somebody is blackmailing you that they will die if you don't send them money. And so you dip your hands into your capital. Okay, remember, these are investors' money. It's not even yours. How do you differentiate between being a serial gambler and taking risk and not just jumping from one opportunity to the other? Beautiful. The difference is that you must, a risk taker has a mentor. If I tell people the way to minimize the risk of the risk is to have a mentor. So good risk takers have mentors who have done bigger things. So the mentors are guiding them and say, take this step, take that step. I also took it that time. And so that minimizes your risk. So yes, it's still a risk because it can still fail, but you have mentors who are guiding you, just like me. Okay, Grant Cardone is my mentor, and I've studied every move he's made when it comes to expanding in real estate, but it doesn't change the fact that what I'm doing in KT is still a risk. Okay, but I can take confidence and courage in what Grant Cardone has done, and to know that it's easy for me to replicate my own version of it. After all, I've been trained by him, but more importantly, I've also been trained by Harvard University as well, and several other trainings I've had to go through. So you will be more confident to take risks when you've gone through training and you have mentors. Is land banking a good way to grow your asset? I mean, what kind of question is that? That's how I became a billionaire. It was through land banking. The lands I bought, 1,000 plots, 300 plots, 5,000 plots, as low as $250 per plot. Today they are now going for $50,000 per plot, $100,000 per plot, $25,000 per plot. That's how I became rich. It's land asset. Okay? I love you all. Tomorrow I'm doing Ask DSA, so don't miss it. I'm just going to be taking questions, so get ready for it, and you can bring all your questions tomorrow, so I will take a lot more questions tomorrow. I love you all. I want to thank all of you for joining today's class. Remember to share this with your loved ones. Get a lot of your loved ones involved. Let them watch this. It's going to change their mentality, their mindset, and open them up to a lot of concept about how wealth is really created. Okay, so share and get more people to know. I love you all, and thank you to all of you who thanked me and show some appreciation. In C, Ice Rope says, I paid 7.5 million, 8 months is now 1.5, it's now 15 million. You see now, so a lot of testimonies are here about what I'm teaching. I love you all. Good night from Frankfurt, Germany. Bye-bye.